right, today's gospel reading will be from Mark chapter 5, verses 21 through 34. I'll be doing the explanation according to the Blessed Theophylact, who is an archbishop from the Ohrid region of Bulgaria from the 11th century. 21 through 29. And when Jesus was passed over again by boat unto the other side, much people gathered unto him, and he was nigh unto the sea. And behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet and besought him greatly, saying, My little daughter lieth at the point of death. I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed, and she shall live. And Jesus went with him, and much people followed him and thronged him. And a certain woman who had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse, when she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. For she said, If I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that scourge. In the explanation here, after the miracle done to the man possessed of the demon, the Lord works another miracle, raising up the daughter of the ruler of the synagogue. The evangelist mentions the name of the ruler of the synagogue for the sake of the Jews who knew of this event. Now, this man had faith in half measure only. By falling at the Lord's feet, he had faith. By beseeching him to come in person, he did not show as much faith as he ought. For he ought to have said, Only say the word, as the Lord went with him, as if just in passing he also healed the woman with an issue of blood. Holy tradition gives the name of this woman who suffered from an issue of blood as Veronica. The church commemorates this saint on July 12th. This woman had great faith, for she thought she could receive benefit even from his garment, and so indeed she received healing. You should also understand these things as pertaining to human nature, which also had an issue of blood. For human nature had been gushing forth sin, which was killing the soul as it drained out of the lifeblood of the soul. It could not be healed by many physicians, that is, the wise of this world, and indeed the law and the prophets. But as soon as our human nature touched Christ's clothes, that is, his flesh, it was healed. For he who touches Christ's clothes is he who believes that Christ took flesh. And in verses 30 through 34, And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that power had gone out of him, turned him about in the press, and said, Who toucheth my clothes? And his disciples said unto him, Thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me? And he looked round about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him, and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace, and be whole of thy scourge. And the explanation here, power goes out from Christ, not traveling from one location to another, but rather imparted to others while remaining in Christ undiminished. It is the same with teachings, which remain with those who teach, and yet are imparted to those who learn. See how none of the multitude who were thronging about him touched him, but rather she who was not thronging about him. We learn from this mystery that those in tumult and in turmoil do not touch Christ, they only throng about him. But he who touches Jesus is the one who does not crowd against Jesus, and who does not surround with turmoil the word within himself. Why does the Lord reveal the woman? First, that though he might glorify the woman's faith. Secondly, to encourage the ruler of the synagogue that his little daughter will likewise be made whole. And thirdly, to deliver the woman from her great fear. The woman was afraid that she had, as it were, stolen the healing. This is why the evangelist says that the woman came fearing and trembling. The Lord, therefore, does not say, I have made thee whole, but thy faith hath made thee whole. Accordingly, go in peace, that is, go and be at rest. What he means is this: Depart, be at rest, since you have been until this moment in grief and turmoil.